Number 1, the Indian Ocean earthquake and tsunami. Though much of this happened the day after Christmas, it began on December 25th, 2004. In the hours between Christmas Day and the day after, a massive earthquake registering at least 9.1 on the Richter scale hit just off the west coast of Sumatra. The damage from that alone was devastating as it was felt along the coast, but the tragedy didn't stop there. Aftershocks continued to roll as a tsunami of massive proportions gained strength and crashed into many countries surrounding the Indian Ocean with tragic results. In the 14 countries hit by the quake and tsunami, more than 230,000 people were killed. It was one of the worst tsunamis in history. Homes were destroyed, people went missing, and the whole villages were lost. And the region is still feeling the effects of the disaster even today. That is horrible. That is truly horrible. 14 countries that got hit with an earthquake and a tsunami. I guess the earthquake was so massive that it caused the tsunami, and then 230,000 people. That is an insane disaster. That's got to be up there for one of the most fatal natural disasters ever. Actually, I'm kind of surprised I haven't heard about it, but that is horrible. Number 2, the formation of the KKK. Oh my gosh. Christmas hardly seems like the perfect day to form a hate group, but sure enough, that's what happened. On Christmas Eve in 1865 in Pulaski, TN, a group of men who previously served in the Confederate Army, got together to chat. They put together a brand new group meant to uphold white supremacy and to reverse the government's equal rights work after the Civil War. They wanted to make sure black people didn't get rights and that the South couldn't continue with segregation. This group was known as the Ku Klux Klan. To this very day, the hate group has members across the United States. Wow. I had no idea that the KKK formed on Christmas. That is, wow, that is a crazy just fact, actually, that I had no idea about. Comment down below if you guys knew about that, but that's insane. Why that day? I wonder, actually, if that was that just coincidence, or did they specifically do that for a reason? I'm not sure. Number 3, the Congo Christmas Massacre. In the early 2000s, the Lord's Resistance Army was a Christian cult that was strong, terrifying, and ruthless in its pursuit of terrorism. In the Democratic Republic of Congo, they would terrorize locals by cutting off people's limbs and slaughtering entire villages. One such slaughter took place over Christmas Eve and Christmas Day in 2008. The army targeted 5 villages, waited until they were celebrating the holiday, then attacked them all at once, killing virtually everyone. The final death toll is still uncertain, but some reports put the number at more than 600 people killed in a span of only 3 days. That is so horrible, man. It's stuff like that which just makes me so grateful for where I grew up and the upbringing that I had. Just, can you imagine actually thinking about that and fearing that on Christmas? You're celebrating with your family and this is an actual possibility. That is just so horrible, and my heart goes out to all of the communities affected by that. Ridiculous. Number 4, the Taeyonggak Hotel Fire. On Christmas Day 1971 in Seoul, things were pretty normal for the renowned Taeyonggak Hotel. People were celebrating, some were settling in for the night, and everything seemed peaceful. Then, suddenly, disaster struck. A fire started after a gas explosion at the hotel. In what is called the worst hotel fire in history, the hotel was quickly engulfed in flames, with the entire expanse lighting up the night. By the time the fire was finally put out, more than 10 grueling hours later, 166 people had lost their lives, most died of smoke inhalation, and 8 people, including the hotel's owner, were arrested. Yeah, I get there must have been some sort of negligence involved there, to have something like that break out, something that's that massive, in what is pretty modern times, that's insane, man. 166 people died on Christmas because of that. That sucks. That's just, I don't even know what to say. That's horrible. Number 5, the USSR invades Afghanistan. On December 24th, 1979, the Soviet Union was poised to invade Afghanistan. Around midnight, the Soviets sent well over 8,000 men into Kabul and they attacked the palace. While resistance was fierce, the Soviet troops were so overwhelming that there was simply nothing that could be done. Thousands were killed. By December 27, the Soviets had formed the Marxist People's Democratic Party and instilled their own rule. It would not be until 1989 until the Soviets were finally driven out. Why did we pick the 24th, guys? Why do we do that? You know, I mean, like, you probably shouldn't be invading places just in general. Like, that's typically a bad thing to do. People don't like that very much. But why did it have to be on the 24th? Like, we couldn't have just waited, you know, like a little bit until the 27th, maybe, and then done it? I don't know. Just saying. That seems like ridiculous timing. Number 6 is the Taeyonggak train disaster. The Auckland night train was chugging around the tracks when suddenly it slid on the wet rails and plummeted down into the Wangeu River. Out of the 285 passengers, more than half died in the crash or in the surging waters that engulfed the cars. Over the next few days, rescuers and volunteers found muddy and ruined presents throughout the wreckage from passengers trying to bring gifts to loved ones. It was heartbreaking. It remains to this day New Zealand's worst railway accident and one of the worst train accidents of all time. I can't even imagine how terrifying that would be. Like, that sounds to me honestly like the Titanic of trains. You know, like, you're good, you're fine, and then all of a sudden it's like you're plummeting down this hill, like cars are flipping over on themselves, and you're in this like river. Like, that would be, that even if you did survive, like, the mental strain, the trauma after that would be brutal. Number 7 is the Italian Hall disaster. On Christmas Eve in 1913, some miners and their families were having a massive Christmas party in an Italian cultural hall in Michigan. Everything was going fine until someone yelled fire. Panic took hold and everyone rushed for the exits at once, not caring what or who they knocked over during their mad dash. People fell and were either trampled or suffocated in the crowds. In the end, a stunning 73 people died. In a cruel, ironic twist, it turned out that there was no fire at all. To this day, no one is entirely sure who yelled fire or why they did it. Wow, that is like, I guess that was just like supposed to be a prank that went horribly, and tragically wrong. 73 people died. That's why, guys, like, if any like natural disaster, like something's going on, like, calm. It is so important to stay calm because like something like that is just so easily avoidable in so many different ways. But it's like, if we just stayed calm, everything would have been chill. Number 8 is Cyclone Tracy. There's a small city in the Northern Territories of Australia called Darwin, and it's prone to cyclone activity. It's been hit by storms in the past, but in 1974, Darwin was pummeled by a tropical storm. From Christmas Eve to Christmas Day, Cyclone Tracy ravaged the town, killing 66 people. When at last the wind settled, 70% of the city's buildings were destroyed, including 80% of the houses. More than 40,000 people were left without homes, and donations were set up using the slogan, "Santa never made it to Darwin." Aww. While the city was later rebuilt, Australia has never forgotten that tragedy. Man, it has got to be so, like, just like mentally draining to live in a place that's prone to like earthquakes and cyclones and tsunamis and like hurricanes, like all of that stuff. Like, I'm so blessed right now, like literally living in Toronto. Like, we have had, or at least in my lifetime, no major natural disasters, but Jesus, a cyclone on Christmas takes away your home. That is so heartbreaking. Number 9, the Christmas flood of the Netherlands. In 1717, a massive storm hit the coast of the Netherlands, Germany, and Scandinavia. Floodwaters began to rise drastically faster than anyone could compensate for, and soon whole villages and towns became engulfed. Dams and dikes were breached by the force of the water and storm, and the floods continued all throughout the usually cheery holiday. By the end of it, an estimated 13,000 people or more were drowned by the flooding, and others were killed by debris and disease that came later. Some towns were so badly destroyed that there was nothing left, and they simply ceased to exist. Wow. That's incredible. Like, that's just so crazy, man. A flood takes out an entire town, like homes, buildings, like restaurants, everything, people that used to live there, like, just gone. I can't even imagine. Number 10, the Library of Congress fire. In 1851, the Library of Congress was home to more than 50,000 works of literature. It was home to the personal library of President Thomas Jefferson and housed some of his own personal writings. Unfortunately, it would not last. On Christmas Eve, a fire began that was so strong and so devastating in size that it engulfed most of the library. When the smoke cleared, over 2/3 of the books had been completely destroyed, including the books from Jefferson. Man, that is also so heartbreaking, like in a totally different way. But like, I've always been somebody who loves a good book over like writing on the internet. I think most of us are that way. But one thing I will say about having stuff on the internet is it can't go up in flames. You know, like, there will be a backup. If there's one book and that's it and it gets burned, like, all that knowledge, all that writing, it's gone. So that's just, that really sucks. Anyways guys, that was the video that we have for you. I've been your host, Nicholas Blaylock. Smash the like, hit the subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. The damage from that alone was devastating as it was felt, oh Jesus, let me do that again. Ugh. The Taeyonggak, how the hell do you say that? Taeyonggak? Plummeted down into the Wangeu?